Welcome back to my channel. This is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective. I am here to talk about that interview with Tasha K and Arionne Curry. Like, I saw it. I literally got off the plane from coming back from vacation and saw the alert, and I was just like, I gotta talk about this. This has got to be talked about. And so I've got some thoughts. I have some things I would like to share. I have some things that I want to talk about. And some of them you may align with, some of those things that you may not. But I'm going to be honest and I'm going to let you know. And I'm also going to try to be very transparent as well. So happy New Year. My name is Belle. This is the Belle Perspective. Welcome and let's get started. So, start point number one. First of all, Arionne is an absolutely gorgeous girl. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's super beautiful, very beautiful. She does remind, and Tasha K brought it up. She said that you remind me of Melody. Now, they don't look alike, like they don't favor each other or anything like that, but they have the same, like, you know how you can put people in different categories, like this person is in that category, and you probably shouldn't, but they are in the same realm. They are in the same realm as far as the way they carry themselves, the way they talk, that kind of thing. They're very much in the same realm. I have so many things. What I'm gonna try not to do is tear her down, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, right? So if you're not familiar with it, Arionne Curry is Martell Holt's mistress. It was discovered that he was cheating on her. Actually, they revealed it in a show called Love and Marriage Huntsville. So if you haven't watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, this review is really not going to matter a whole lot to you. If you don't know who the people are, it's not really going to matter a whole lot to you. But if you do watch the show and you've watched at least one or two, I've only done 2 reviews of the show on this channel, but I've watched since the inception of the show. And so Arionne Curry went to Tasha K, and they sat down on Monday, had a conversation, and I felt like Arionne came, in all honesty, came to argue about semantics, and double down. She wanted to argue about semantics, and she not argue with Tasha K per se, but she wanted to argue semantics and double down on her thought. And that was in her initial plan, because you can tell her initial plan was to try to win sympathy, empathy, and kind of just maybe win the hearts of people. But it didn't go well because it wasn't genuine. And the reason why it was not completely, I will say it was not completely genuine, or it did not come off completely genuine. And the reason why it did not come off, she may have been completely genuine and I just didn't pick it up. But the reason why it did not come off completely genuine is because Miss Curry is still involved with Martell. She's still with him, and it makes it harder for you to really take accountability for yourself and the things that you've done when you're still in it. Yeah, when you're still in it, you're really not gonna, you're really not going to try to, there's nothing you're going to really do, but either stand 10 toes down in it or blame someone else for it, you know. So, and she did a combination of the two. Stand 10 toes down and also blame other people, pointing her fingers. So she came in, her hair was pretty, she had on this dress. It was a cute dress, but it looked very much like you know, church lady. I'm, you know, here on this interview trying to present, you know, some sort of good girl image, which, I mean, I've always learned, and people, and this is the thing about Martell. What the hell is going on in my chest right here? It's red. Y'all see that? It's red. Look like somebody done ate me up, child. What is that going on in my skin? Oh, it's red. Anyway, I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of itching too. Anyway, I was told years ago that you shall know them by their fruit. Okay, and that is like an old biblical phrase, old Bible church term. Actually, no, it's an actual biblical phrase. I can't think of the scripture or where it's at in the Bible. Not that I'm a Christian or any of that. It's just I remember it. I did go to seminary school for a year and a half, so I do remember. But I'm not affiliated with that anymore. I don't. That's not my practice or what I practice at now. But what that means is that the only way that you will really get to know someone and who they are on the inside is by seeing what they do. You will know them by their fruit. And so the fruit that they produce, that comes out of them, the things that they do that come out of them, that's how you'll know that person. And so I hear her say she has a good heart. I hear Martell keep saying he has a good heart. And it's like, I can't tell what's on the inside of you until it starts coming out. And when what's coming out is deceit, what's coming out is arrogance, what's coming out is entitlement, resisting accountability. Like those are the things that are coming out of your heart. And so if you really truly, if that's not in your heart, then if it wasn't there, it wouldn't be coming up. And not saying that everybody is perfect and no one has a shadow self and that there aren't multiple dimensions of people and that we have different things in our past and in our future. And I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that stop saying that this is not, you have a good heart. Good heart comes out. You see it. And I can say that person has a good heart because of what's coming out of them, because of what they're displaying. I can't judge anyone off of what they're telling me. The only thing I can judge is by what they show me. And what you show is not that. So this whole good heart thing, it's just gotten out of hand when people saying that kind of thing. And it's just, it's a little annoying because it's like, good heart where? I don't, let's not be intellectually dishonest. Let's not do that, okay? So that is one of the first things that she was saying. I'm gonna just tell you right now, she didn't. She should have just sat home and ate her food, child. She should have just sat home and ate her food. She really should have, because number one, you still with this man, so you're not really able to hold yourself accountable to no real shit. So be quiet. So that's number one. Number two, you still fucking with this man, so you really can't give us no real tea about Marceau and Maurice, which we already know Marceau and Maurice already got foolishness going on. And at this point, we just need somebody to vocalize it, which you've hinted at it, but there's no further detail that you're going to provide. So it's like, if you're not going to say anything about it and give us proof, be quiet. One of the things that she kept saying, one of the themes that she kept saying is that she felt like the show was about her. This is where I realized her and Martell, the reason why Martell and her were together for so, because they were together for 7 years. He was cheating on his wife for 7 years with this girl. So no matter what happens, they think everything is about them. Okay, so the show never mentions her name, and she kept saying using my likeness, and it's like, no, sweetie, like using your. And at first I was like, that doesn't mean that. I'm like, that don't mean using my likeness. But then I'm like, maybe she went to an attorney, because it sounded like she went to like some attorney or something, and they gave her that word to use, because she kept sprinkling it around that in areas that didn't necessarily sound like it was applicable. I'm like, you saying it, but sis, do you really know what you're talking about? Because it just sounds like you're just saying stuff. Anyway, so she kept saying, you know, they're using my likeness, they keep talking about me. No ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Okay, no ma'am, they are not talking about you. What they are, it could have been anybody. You've even admitted Martell was sleeping with other women outside of you, which I wish Tasha K had asked about that. How did you feel about him sleeping with other women on top of sleeping with you, on top of sleeping with Melody? Like, and all of y'all were, well, we know too for sure that Arionne and Melody were sleeping with him with no protection. And then you know that there are other women. I can see why Melody, actually no, I can't, and I'm gonna talk about her in a second. I don't like her at all, but I do feel bad about the situation that happened to her. But I don't like her as a person, but we'll talk about that. But you have bird's eye view to know that this Negro is not faithful, and you know that he's sleeping with other women. So but here's the thing, I'm trying not to go too hard on her, because I was a side chick. Now, I wasn't a side chick to no married man, but I dated this guy. I was like 8 months emotionally involved with him, and he was dating someone else, and he kept saying, well, I'm just dating, I'm not, you know, it's not serious or whatever. He told me it wasn't serious. He ended up marrying her, and I was devastation across the nation, because I actually believed him. I thought that he was telling the truth. He wasn't married. Now, as soon as he did get married, I was like, or as soon as he proposed to the girl, when I heard about, he sat down, told me he was gonna do it, then he did it, and I was just like, I can't believe you would do that. And we were involved up until he proposed to the girl, and I was just like, and I thought it wasn't serious. I thought he wasn't, you know, trying, and we were together, you know. Anyway, it was a whole thing. So I'm trying not to go, and I can share that story now that I've gotten past it. But so I'm trying not to be so hard on her, because these men tell you all kinds of things. Like, that's the thing that gets me. It's like, y'all going so hard on, well, not y'all, but, and she does need to, she do need to get it. She really do. And I had to sit back and say, you know, you need to get it, right? But I try to be as understanding as I possibly can, because I do know that what they're saying to her, what these men say, what men say to keep you on the string, to reel you in. Even what she was saying about how he came to her house and was, you know, trying to reel her in. I experienced the exact same thing. He came to when I found out about the girl, he came to my job, drove an hour to get to my job, brought roses, came to my house. Like, he trying to reel me back in. And at the time, I didn't, you know, I wasn't checking the Carfax. I wasn't reading the Yelp reviews, and I really believed what he was saying. but did not pay attention to his actions. I was not paying attention, and that's what I'm saying. And that's why from now on, when somebody says I have a good heart, no. If somebody has to tell you who they are, if someone has to tell you what they are, oh, I'm a good person, oh, I'm a good hard worker, or blah, all these things. If you have to tell me that you're reliable, responsible, a good person, got a good heart, got a good head, a smart person, I heard Arionne kept saying that. If someone has to keep telling you that, doubt them. Doubt them. Because it's not something that, those are not things that someone needs to tell you. Those are things that you're going to see. Their character, their heart, what's inside of them is going to show you that. And so there's no need to speak about it. And the person who actually truly has those qualities, a lot of those kind of people don't even realize that they have those qualities. They just, it's automatic for them. And so they don't even, they do it without second nature. So anyway, I was listening to what he was saying, but I wasn't listening to what he was doing. And so that's the reason why I got caught up into that. And so that's why I see why Arionne got caught up in it as well. She was hearing what he was saying, but not paying attention to what he was doing and not taking any of it for face value. You know what I'm saying? Not taking any of that and registering, paying attention to what's going on. Because we done all played a fool. You hear me? We done all played a fool. But it's how many times you gonna play that damn fool, and how long you gonna play that goddamn fool. We not gonna do it too long. You hear me? It was a year that I sat in that. After that year, I said, no, God, we not doing that bullshit no more. And I'll tell you right now, from that day on, I said, we not living like that no more. Do you hear me? I only go by actions. If I see that your actions do not match your words, I'm out. I am out. If I see your actions do not match your words, I'm out. Period. And that's it. I don't give a fuck what you think your heart look like. I don't give a fuck. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. You ask, and I'm not, and although this may not be a good example because obviously we know about our American justice system, but any guilty, truly guilty man in prison, or woman, or whoever person that's in prison right now, you ask them, they think that they are the cream of the crop. They think that they are innocent. They think they did nothing wrong. They think they got caught up with the wrong people. Blah, la, 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 la. And I mean, truly people who are guilty, who have true evidence that's been, you know, submitted and reported, that kind of thing. I'm not talking about the bullshit plea deals. And again, we already know what our American justice system is like. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who got actual evidence stacked up against them. Ask them people. They gonna say the same thing. I got a good heart. Da 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 da. And I'm sure you. Honestly, no, I can't even say I'm sure you do. All I know is that the action. See, you saw me trying to do that. See, because it's been ingrained in women. I feel like it's been ingrained in women to try to look past men's flaws because there are so many. Because there are so many flaws. And there's so many flaws because there's patriarchy, and they have not had to reconcile. And this is not just black men. This is white men. This is men in general. Because of the patriarchy, they have not had to reconcile the bullshit that they've been able to get away with for so long. And so they can tell you, I have a good heart. And because you're a heterosexual woman, I'm a heterosexual woman, there are, in some cases, these particular women feel like they need to make these concessions, you know? And that's not wise. That's not wise. That's not wise. That's that young gal shit. Don't do that no more. And I posted it on Twitter. I'm like, Arionne is on some young gal shit. That's on that young gal shit, listening to what he says and not what he does. No, you don't do that. We don't do that. We do not do that, okay? Anyway, I went off on a tangent, but it was needed to be said. So she was talking about how she met him. It was a cousin who introduced him. A cousin who approached her. She went to some barbecue or something like that. And his cousin approached her, mind you. Now, so you mean to tell me, that lets me know that Martell has definitely cheated on Melody before, has been cheating on Melody, And it also lets me know that Melody knew he had been cheating on Melody before he married her. That let me know everything I needed to know. He had been cheating on her. Because again, mind you, this dude I was talking to, the guy I was dating, he cheated on this woman with me all the way up until the day that he decided he was going to propose to her. Even when he thought that even when the relationship got serious. And mind you, I didn't know. He was telling me it wasn't. He was telling me, excuse me, let me get some water. I got a lot to say today, so this video is going to be kind of long. He told me, and I'm still trying to get over this cold or whatever this is. He told me that the relationship was not serious. He kept saying that. He was like, I'm not married. I don't have to, there was a lot that he was, there was a lot that he was saying, and there was a lot that I was believing. Partially because of the position that he was in. He was in a position of power. There's lots more to the story, but he was up in a position of power. The position required a certain amount of integrity, all these different things. And so because of the position he was in and what he did for a living, I assumed, without paying attention to his actions, that he was telling the truth. And again, like, if you're getting serious with someone and because here's the thing about men, I have not heard one man, and all the men that I know that are married, the majority of them told me that they knew within 3 to 1 month to 3 months, maybe 6 months at the latest. If they knew who they were going to marry. Like, if they dated a woman, they knew. The earliest was a month. Actually, the earliest was like a week. One guy was like, yeah, I knew this. Actually, it's the first time he met her. He was like, I knew I was going to marry her. Earliest was like first time he met her. First love at first sight. Latest was like 3 to 6 months in. They know. And so he had been dating her, and he knew her prior to that. So I was just like, why didn't you say this? Why did you tell me? You knew what I wanted. You knew. Anyway. Shout out somebody else's problem. He cheated on her all the way up until he proposed to her. That's what Martell did. Martell did the exact same thing. Martell had been cheating on Melody. He been cheating. Before he even got married to her, he been cheating on her. I believe that. Because here's the thing. The shit don't just start happening. The shit don't just start happening. It don't. She said that he was being disrespectful to them on their honeymoon. Ma'am, the shit don't just start happening. It doesn't just start happening. So Melody, you stayed way longer than you needed to stay. You stayed way longer than you needed. And I know he was cheating on you before y'all got married. I know you did. You may not admit it out loud. Actually, you did. I feel like I heard in an interview that you did with either Dr. Heavenly or maybe Funky Dineva or somebody, but he was cheating on you before y'all got married. I know he did, because the shit don't just start. It just don't just start out of nowhere. I'm going to just tell you that right now. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Well, not all. I'm probably going to say some more about it, but, So, anywho, so back to what I was saying. So she met Martell at this party. Martell's cousin, who knew he was married, is the wingman, apparently. Maybe all of his family members are wingmen, because everybody enables Martell. Martell gets no type of accountability. Nobody tells Martell right from wrong. He's able to do absolutely anything. I can tell Martell was one of those type of dudes who was able to go to college, not learn, not crack one book open. He didn't never have to do anything, and all he thought he was gonna do was skate on his quote-unquote good looks. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't think Martell's sexy. I don't think he fine. I never thought he was fine. I never thought he was cute. He be wearing them suits, and I was like, he need to take them suits off. Those suits are for cute men. I tell you that right now. My friends, we would watch the show together, and I'd be like, why he got on that suit? He need to wear something that's muted. He need to wear something that don't draw too much attention to himself, because he is not cute. Get them suits to the cute dudes. Get them suits to the cute men. He be wearing... Child, if he don't put on the Steve Harvey suit and sit down and get one, the boy, you don't need none of the suits that you be wearing. No, it don't fit you at all. They don't fit you physically, and they don't fit you as a person and who you are in your face. You're not cute. He is not cute. Not cute. And I saw what he looked like when they got married. I was like, that build you up man kind of shit. Oh, you taking a risk, sis. Anyway, moving forward. So met through the cousin. She said that she waited 8 to 9 months before she had sex with him. I believe that's a lie. She was in there trying to hold on to her virtue, or trying to look virtuous in this interview. Ma'am, this man approached you and said to you that he thought he was going to be able to sleep with you the same night he met you. You think he held out 8, 9 months? First of all, he already married, so we already know what type of time he on right now. He trying to get in them draws as soon as possible. So ain't no way you gonna sit your black ass up on this goddamn internet and tell me that you think that tell me that you, and look me dead in my eye too, lie straight through them crooked ass teeth and say, forgive me, not crooked ass teeth, but lie through your teeth and tell me that you waited 8 to 9 months before you slept with him. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because Martell is cheating. He is married. He already has a wife. What he's looking for is something slick and easy to get into. Stop. I was getting annoyed when she was starting to lie and backpedaling coochie pie. Like, girl, stop. Girl, tell the truth, girl. Like, you're here. And that's what was making me annoyed about the entire interview. It's like, she is not ready to be honest. So until she's ready to be honest, this interview is a waste of time. Then she was talking about how she felt like there was a false narrative that was being pushed out on her during the show. Now, what I don't understand, what is the false narrative? The narrative was that there was a girl, her name was never mentioned, a picture was never shown. You know, there was no girl that looked like her that was, you know, posted up. There was no reenactments of the rendezvous or the scandal or anything like that. So there was no narrative, right? The idea was Martell was cheating, and she was one of the women he was cheating with. He was one of his favorites in his harem, because Martell has a harem, okay? Martell was sleeping with multiple women. There is no way that you're going to tell me that he was not. He has a cousin that's being a wingman for him. He's got all his friends lined up, lying for him. Marceau, Martell, Maurice, Maurice, Marceau, Cedric, all of them. And ain't no telling how many other family members lined up to lie for him. All of them, they're all going to lie for him. His mother will lie for him. She has no problem doing that. So Martell has a harem. Martell had a harem of women. And so she was saying that the narrative is that they keep bringing me up. They don't have a storyline to talk about. No, the storyline is that actually Martell doesn't have a storyline. He has nothing going for himself right now. He has absolutely nothing going for himself. Except for cheating, right? And we're trying to still figure out what the fuck what is so special about this man in the first place. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. I didn't marry him. That's not my problem, not my issue, right? So that's one bullet I thank God I never had to be worried about, right? So she saying it was all about her. No, ma'am, you just so happen to be the player in this box, or you just happen to be the tool that Martell used. But sis, it could have been anybody. It could have been a hammer. It could have been a jackrabbit. It could have been a hammer. It could have been a screwdriver. It could have been whatever you want to, whatever kind of tools. That's my limit. That's my limit on what tools are and the names of them. But you are not special in this, sis. You're really not. It could have been anybody. It could have been Tracy. It could have been Tasha. It could have been Keisha. It could have been anybody. It really could have. Because they never mentioned your name, and he never mentioned. In fact, he referred to you as peasant in the second season reunion, which he would have never heard from my ass ever. He would have never heard from me again. The way I would have, he would have never had to worry about me again. They would have never had to see about my peasant on national TV. That's what the fuck you referred? Girl, you ain't get mad enough for me. But okay. Anywho. So I thought that was annoying that she kept thinking and kept saying that they don't have a storyline without her. They do. Melody absolutely has a storyline without you. There's plenty of things that are going on without you. However, you slept with her husband, and so they're referring to the act of adultery that took place that Martell participated in, and you being the willing participant to act in the act of adultery with him. You slept with him, therefore that's why we're talking about you specifically. It could have been anyone in his harem, but you were one of his favorite girls. Like, again, because you're still tied to him, you have this unwarranted arrogance. It's unwarranted. It really is. This whole two-parent household thing, I'm not even finna talk about this. She kept talking about herself in third person, and I really was like, what the fuck is that about? I always like side-eye people who talk about themselves in third person. It's weird. It gives very much, I'm the center of the universe, very much self-absorbed. Very much self-absorbed. She was saying, she's raised in a two-parent household. Maybe she was embarrassed that she did come from a single parent home. Her father had gotten remarried, and she would stay with her father every once in a while, but her mother raised her, so she grew up in a single parent home. She talked about how she was pregnant. Now, this is where I was just like, girl. She talked about how she got pregnant. She said she got pregnant twice. She said, I miscarried the first one. Now, remind you, she got pregnant twice. She said, I miscarried the first one. I had an abortion for the second one. Me and Melody were pregnant at the same time. And then I had this third one. I said, no. And then I had my son. So, isn't that 3? I was like, she is, again, not willing to tell the truth because she's still connected to him. And because she's still connected to him, she cannot hold herself accountable. She can't be in it and still be, it would be cognitive dissonance. It would be like, she would be, it would be cognitive dissonance. You know, if she's sitting here standing with this man, I'm going to stick beside him, but knowing good and damn well, I ain't shit sticking beside him. You know, she has to tell herself these things in order to continue to operate in the way that she's operating and showing up in the world. And it's just the most peculiar case because it's like, girl, you should set your ass home and eat your food quietly to yourself, girl. Because now you really looking stupid. You really look less than smart. You look really less than smart. You just don't look good. It just doesn't look good. You don't look good at all. God, she had... And I feel like she got pregnant more than that. She probably got pregnant more than that time. More than that. 7 years. And only 3 times. I don't believe her. I think she got pregnant multiple times. More times than that. She just wouldn't, you know, it would just look crazy. Because she didn't even want to be honest about she didn't want to be honest about the first number. She said it was 2. It was actually 3 when she talked about it. I feel like it was more. And she just wouldn't. She wouldn't say. She kept saying that Martell was the only person that she slept with. Honestly, I don't care. I'm not here to slut shame. That's none of my business who you sleep with. My only concern is if you make sure that you're doing it consensually, you're awake, you're conscious, you have your wits, you have your mind about you, you're able to say yes, you don't have, some sort of, you're not under duress, nothing like that. The person isn't related to you. Like, I don't care. I don't care how many people you sleeping with. As long as you're consensual and as long as you're of age. Right? As long as you are of age, and when I say of age, I mean able to emotionally, financially, psychologically handle the responsibility and the repercussions of having sexual intercourse with another person. That is the only thing. Like, I need you to be emotionally, psychologically, and financially able and responsible to handle the repercussions of having sexual intercourse with another person. So that means if you're homosexual and you could potentially expose yourself to any type of STD, STI, and you can't afford to take care of that shit, if you fuck around with the wrong person, then you probably don't need to be having no relations. Now, I'm not telling nobody what to say or what to do, or you don't got no insurance and you fucking around. That's my thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't got no insurance and you out here in the streets. You might want to think about that. I'm not telling everybody to be perpetual virgins. I'm just telling you that you need to have some things in line before you decide to participate in adult activity. Okay? But anywho, that's my personal thought, my personal opinion. I got insurance and I got a savings, so I ain't worried. You hear me? So, and my pack comes regularly every 3 months. Okay? So, what was I going to say? So she had 3 pregnancies that she told us about. She was pregnant with she was pregnant at the same time with Melody. At the same time, before the last baby, Melody had gotten pregnant again. Melody ended up having an abortion. Her and Melody were pregnant at the same time. I whoop Martell ass every damn time I see him. I would try to whoop him. I'm a girl, but I would try to fight him every chance I see him. He's the mother of her child, but I would try to fight him every time I see him. I'm being honest with myself. I'm being honest. And I'm not saying, anyway. So then she talks about here's the semantic part that she was talking about. Like, all of it was just semantics. It was like, girl, you ain't come up here and clear anything. Literally, you just reinforced what was already told on TV. But she didn't get that. So then she was saying that, she didn't call Melody's phone and tell her to put Martell on the fucking phone. She was like, I didn't do that. So then Tasha was like, okay, so you never called? And she was like, okay, yeah, I called. She was like, okay, did you call back to back? She was like, I didn't call back to back. She was like, okay, well, did you call more than once? She was like, yep. Okay, yeah, I probably called more than once. Because he was calling me. And I was like, so it went from you didn't call to you only called once to you probably did call multiple times. And then I think it went into she calling back to back because he called her and she was trying to get in touch with him. Then I'm like, so what was the truth with that, Then she was like, and again, I try not to go too hard on her because I was in the situation. Again, he wasn't married, but I was telling myself, she's not that important. He's, this, he's that. No, sis. Immediately, as soon as he says there's someone else, Men aren't that hard. They're not that complicated. They're not. If they want you, they want you, and they know what and guess what? They know what it takes to get you as well. If they're not giving it to you, it means they don't want to. Period. That's it. Somebody was like, I loved it. They was like, Melody be talking about her man, my man. Bitch, your man left you for dead, hoe. Like, girl, pay attention. Bitch, did your man leave you for dead? Because she kept saying, Martell treated me so good. How, sis? How? He couldn't have given you enough time. He couldn't have given you the quality time that you deserved, that every woman deserves. He couldn't have given you that. He had a whole damn family. What was he doing? Flying you places? Okay, that's what Joes do, or what do you call them? Johns do. That's what Johns do. They pay for the bus. That's what they do. He didn't treat you good. It just it was a part of the transaction. That's what they do. Girl, he left you for dead, girl. Mommy. Bitch, your man left you for dead, hoe. That shit funny. It will forever be funny. I'm gonna try to work that in everything I say. Well, not everything I say, but I try to work it in as much as I can. But anyway, she just kept saying Martell treated her good and, you know, all these things. And I'm just like, girl, you still fooling with him. You're still involved with him. And so you cannot. And you're still involved with him in a way, not even related to your son. You're still involved with him in a way that y'all are still, you know, you want him to come home, right? You want him to be with you. She said that she alluded to the fact that both of them they're not together because their relationship has been damaged. And it's like, no, the thrill is gone. And you're not the one that came up with that. I know she didn't come up with that because she kept saying, I wasn't pursuing him. You know, he needs therapy. Martell needs therapy. Girl, you just heard that. You don't, you may believe it, but if you really felt that way, you wouldn't want to be with him. You'd be like, he need therapy. And until he can get some help, I don't want to have nothing to do with him. A woman who really truly knows when a man need therapy, she ain't fucking with him. She's just not. And I've been there. I've been that woman who was just like, oh no, something wrong. Something is wrong. No, she is still involved with him. And I believe he was the one that told her that the relationship has been basically damaged. But that's bullshit too. No, the thrill is gone. His wife left him. You were never the person that he really wanted to be with. He just enjoyed sneaking around with you and thought he could get away with it. And when it fell apart, the thrill is gone. That's really what happened. And so here's where I went through a period of time in my life where I felt like the guy that was dating me and also dating someone else, I thought, and I'm hearing everybody saying, Arionne is not on Melody's level. Arionne is not on Melody's level. Arionne is not on Melody's level. And I, for a very long time in the beginning, thought that maybe the woman that he dated or decided to marry was better than me. Maybe I wasn't on her level. But there's a lot of things that go into the decision that these kind of men make. A lot of them want to be with women who they feel are better than them. Actually, okay, let me take this. Let me pull this back. Let me pull it back, okay? A lot of the decisions that they make, their ego is so inflated that they see themselves on par with these women, or with women, particular women, whoever the woman is. But deep down inside, there's a conflict and they feel severely insecure. And the reason why I'm able to identify that in Martell is because I dealt with it with this guy. He was severely insecure, severely insecure. And so if he comes across a woman who admires him or worships him, worships him, whatever, he automatically projects that you're less than him. I can't explain it. Does that make sense? If you're worshiping me, then I must be better than you, right? But then a woman who's kind of like, come on, boy, let's go. I ain't got time to be fooling with you. Is we gonna go? Or if he sees her and is like, oh, I see what she's doing. I feel like, you know, yeah, that's the kind of woman I want. That's the woman I deserve, you know, in his mind. A woman that's moving and shaking and doing things, because in his inflated ego, he thinks he's doing that, right? He thinks he's doing that. But then when he gets with her, the insecurity starts to creep in, and then he starts to compete with her. He'll start to compete with her. And then not only will he compete with her, he'll also look for outside validation to feed the gaping insecurity that he has on the inside. He'll need something on the outside to feed him, someone that's lower than him, or someone who worships him and sees him in a light of admiration. And then he'll in order to validate the part where he feels like he's better than you, because he needs to feel better than you, right? He needs to feel better than you to validate this part. And then he'll also need to feel like he's on par with her to feel better in that. So, because he don't want to be with you. If he's with you, then that means he's equal to you. That's why he was able to call her a peasant. Then if he's with her, then that means he feels like he's higher than you. You know what I'm saying? There's like a whole, it's like a step process. And so, and here's the thing where Arionne messed up, where Arionne is disillusioned, and she really needs to work on herself and truly need to get some counseling, because I was in that position. I was there. I felt like this woman was better than me. She was on a different level than me. And it's like, no ma'am, 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 no ma'am. Arionne and Melody, while Melody has accomplished more, she did not think that Martell was the prize, if that makes any sense. She did not think, she thought Martell was her partner. She looked at him like, come on, we finna get stuff done together. We gonna do it together. We're gonna do this together. We're on par together. Arionne looked at Martell, and I could see why. There was an age gap, you know. He probably had a reputation that preceded him, so she was kind of like starstruck almost, maybe. And so she approached him in that way, and she said that he has good conversation. Girl, I know good and goddamn well you're not finna fool me on Michelle Obama's internet and say that he had good conversation. Girl, what is Martell talking about, girl? He is not talking about nothing. I'm not about to play them games with you. Girl, not a good goddamn well. You're not finna sit up and tell me that. You're not. Anyway. But I felt that way. Going back to what I was saying. I felt maybe she was better. No. These two women, in their own right, Melody did not look at Martell like he was the prize or something to be, you know. She had other insecurities that she had going on, and the reason why she attached herself with him, but it wasn't the same insecurities that this Arionne girl has. Arionne has some other things going on. And Arionne should have finished school, but because she was so wrapped up in him, she didn't. She put him first. She put all of him first. Melody is not that type of person. Well, she is, but it's not as bad as Arionne. It's not as bad as Arionne. And so that's the reason why Arionne hasn't accomplished a lot, and they're not on the same level. Arionne is not, she's not focused on herself. She's not focused on the things that will empower her. Anyway, I won't And again, those are the things that I had to learn for myself. I'm like, no. He thought again, I'm going back to myself and my situation. He thought the girl was better than me. He thought she was better than me because he thought that I won't even go down that road. But none of those things were true. None of those things were the case. And I had to learn that through therapy. I had to go and talk about it and deal with those things, deal with the issues that I had, and still dealing with those issues that I have, that put me in that scenario, that put me in that place in the first place. So I just hope she gets some therapy. I hope. But she gonna have to get sick and tired of him. She gonna have to get sick and tired of him, and she not. She not sick and tired of him. She not tired of him. She said 7 years, but I know women. I remember one time somebody told me about this lady who was dating this man who was married for like 10, 20 years. The man changed his number. The girl found the number, and the man was like, "How did you get my number?" And she's still pining for this man. So sometimes I pray to God I don't be no damn fool like that, but there are women like that, and there are men who know it, and they will. She done slept with that man for about 20 years, and he told me, "How did you get my number?" Bitch, I'd have fought you like we would have been fighting. We would have been fighting. I would have fought you. I would have fought you. I would have fought you like an N-word in the street. Like an N-word in the street. Y'all fill in the blank. I ain't gonna say the word. I haven't been saying the word in a while. But I would have fought you like an N-word in the street, and I know that damn well. What else happened in this interview, child? I'm wrapping up. It's 51 minutes. I done talked about this crap for so long. But Arionne, girl. You should have sat home and ate your food, girl. That's what you should have did. You should have never did this one, girl. You should have never did it, girl. You should have never. I tell you that right now, girl. You should have sat home and ate your food, girl. That's what you should have did. But we here. And I appreciate it because he gave me something to talk about. And I was struggling coming back from vacation. But anyway, that's my opinion. I may have missed a couple things, but I'm not trying to make this video super long. If you're here at the end of this video, I'm so glad you are. My name is Belle. This is the Belle Perspective. And I will be giving TV reviews. I'm reading this wonderful book right now called The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. When I tell you this book is so freaking good, it's 800 pages, but baby, when I tell you it's worth it, I'm gonna for sure review that book. I know I told you I was gonna review The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, but I kind of read it, wrapped it up, and that was a while ago, but I'm currently actively reading this book, and it is amazing, and I would encourage any and every woman to read it, or anyone to read it. Again, it's called The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, so I'm reading that, and I'm going to throw up a video on maybe the first couple chapters. It's an amazing book. Very well written and very gripping. Like as soon as you read it, you're in it. And I love books like that. What else is coming up? Grand Crew, watching that. I'm gonna review that. Abbott Elementary, absolutely love Abbott Elementary. Probably not gonna review it. I just want to enjoy the show. That's with Quinta Brunson. And we'll see. Oh, Harlem. I'll throw up a review about that show. I'm having a hard time getting through it. Being honest with myself. But yeah. Sorry about that. I'm still getting over what I'm getting over. Anyway, my name is Belle. I'm glad you stuck around. Like, comment, subscribe to the video, or subscribe to the channel. We're a growing channel. We are a growing channel, and I would love for you to be a part of the growing channel, and this growing population. So hit the subscribe button, and I will see you later on. Arionne, girl. No, ma'am, girl. Call me girl. No, don't call me. Girl. Good night.